Hello everybody, today we are here to talk about the critical universal battery packs. Over the last couple years we're seeing more and more wireless power options in the tattooing community, and I'm glad to see lately a lot more popular companies are coming out with their own versions. These batteries were sent to me by Kingpin Tattoo Supply, so huge shout out to them for hooking it up. I will leave the link to their website down in the description so you can go check them out. Now, even though I did get sent these batteries, that does not mean I'm going to say good things and try to sell you them. The whole point to me starting this channel was to give good, honest reviews for the tattoo community. So, that being said, let's check them out. There are a couple different options when it comes to buying these batteries, but I got sent the 2 RCA bundle. This bundle includes 2 of the RCA batteries, the charging dock, a USB Type-C charging cable, and a charging brick along with some directions. If you are rocking the Cheyenne machines, you are in luck. They also sell the batteries with the 3.5mm connection, and if you're using both machines with RCA and 3.5mm connection, there is a bundle where you can mix and match and get both of the batteries with it. If you don't want a bundle, you can get one single battery of either connection that you want, so you've got options. This particular bundle that I got in cost $499, which I think is the way to go if you're going to invest in these batteries. My tattoo sittings usually last all day long, so it's nice while I'm tattooing. I know that if my battery dies, I have one already freshly charged. My first impressions of these batteries when I first opened the box was that they are very well built. Both the batteries and the charging dock do not feel cheap. So I'm gonna read over some of these specs that they have on their website. They claim that it has a consistent and stable voltage output, which is really important when you're tattooing because you don't want your voltage jumping up and down, you want it just stable. This is something in the past that I've heard artists complain about batteries, that they fluctuate in voltage, and that's definitely not something that you want. They are lightweight and balanced. You can get up to 10+ hours of tattoo time depending on the voltage that you're using. The voltage range goes anywhere from 4 to 13 volts, and the weight is 2 ounces. Now, some specs on the charging dock. The charging dock is compatible with both the 3.5mm and RCA connection batteries. It has a magnetic bottom so you can put it on the side of your station. I have mine sitting right here. It takes approximately 2 to 3 hours to fully charge a battery, and it is charged by a USB-C cable. So that all sounds great on paper, but you can claim anything. So let's get into my experience with these batteries and what I thought about them. All right, so the first thing that I will say that I was excited about these batteries when I got them in is that the RCA connection is on the bottom of the battery, which is really convenient because most of the time I'm tattooing with the Axys Valhalla. And for any pen style machine, this battery just keeps this completely balanced. It doesn't throw the weight off at all, and it's just really nice to tattoo with. I was using these Jetpack wireless batteries, and when you tattoo with these, it does hang off of the back a little bit, and it's not a huge deal, but it does throw off the balance a bit. So the critical batteries are definitely a huge plus when you're tattooing with a pen style machine or any machine with an upward facing RCA. Like I have the Hard Life Omni version 2 here, and that is really nice because once again, it doesn't throw the balance of the machine off at all. You just tattoo with it. Now, something I was a little skeptical about was tattooing with machines with an RCA connection on the back. I wasn't sure how it was gonna affect the balance of the machine at all, but I was pleasantly surprised to say that this really doesn't throw off the balance of this machine. Now, there is definitely added weight, and you can tell. I will say that in the future, I'm hoping that there's a more elegant way to add batteries to this type of machine, just because that is quite a large profile for a tattoo machine. Though I would say that the critical batteries are best suited for pen machines or machines that have upward facing or like diagonal facing RCA connections. That's where I felt most comfortable tattooing with these batteries. The critical batteries are really easy to bag up, especially when you're on a pen machine. All I do is drop it down a clip cord cover, and then you wrap your grip and tape this little excess down, and you are all set to go. I will say if you use really skinny clip cord covers, these batteries will not fit down them. I got these thicker ones from Painful Pleasures, and these work really well. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but they cover really well. These batteries are really easy to operate. Once they're all charged up, you just plug them in, hold down the power button, adjust your volts to where you want them, then press the power button again, and start tattooing. I have used batteries before to where you have to shut the battery totally down in order to pause it from tattooing, which is annoying because then you have to hold the button in for like 3 seconds to shut it down and then hold it in for like 3 seconds to turn it back on. With these, it's really nice because you just have the pause feature. You just press the power button on and off, and it starts and stops. And then to shut down the battery totally, another long press will shut off the battery completely. Bah. When I was tattooing out of them, I was getting about 6 hours tattooing time out of them. I do run my machine around 10 or 11 volts, so if you run your machine slower, you probably will get more time out of them. But I did not get 10 hours of use out of one battery. Now, I don't know if that claim on the website is both of the batteries combined, that you'll have 10 plus hours of tattooing time. Either way, 6 hours of tattooing time on one charge with one battery, I'm super happy with that. Another thing that I really like about these batteries is that you're able to fully adjust your voltage, just like a wired tattoo supply. I have used batteries before to where the power jumps are like 1.5 volts at a time, which is definitely way too big of a jump sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of extra juice and not like half of the bottle. Yes, I just compared orange juice to tattooing. Now, I did notice that while I was tattooing, there was no power fluctuation. These gave me a steady flow of power the entire time for every tattoo that I did, which is a huge deal. Now, even though the charging dock is not a necessity to charge these batteries, you can just buy an individual one and charge it with a USB-C here on the bottom. I will say that it is really awesome. Since it is magnetic on the bottom, I just have it right here on my station. Now, one thing that I was worried about was pulling the battery off and the magnet like failing and the entire charging station falling on the floor. But that never happened. The magnet is very strong and can withstand the force that you need to pull the battery off of the station. And like I said earlier, you can have a bundle that you mix and match the RCA with the 3.5 connection. You can have both batteries in the same charging station. It's not like you need a charging station for the RCA and a charging station for the 3.5 millimeter connection. You can have them both in the same charging station, charging side by side. I also really like that the charging dock is really easily wipeable. There's not a bunch of little dirt traps around it. It's really smooth and you can clean it off really easily. So, no complaints about the charging dock. I do have a couple little things that I would like to discuss about these batteries though. The first thing I'd like to suggest is to change these buttons. Even though they're really nice to press and of good quality, the sides here where the button actually goes into the body of the battery, I think can be a dirt trap for those who don't wrap their equipment. Now, the easy and sensible fix is just to wrap your equipment, but I know that some don't. So my suggestion would maybe be like a plastic or some type of material that would go over the buttons that you can press the button through, and that way they would be easily wipeable and there would be no dirt trap there. But the rest of the battery has a really clean design and is definitely easily cleanable. And the only other thing I have a gripe about is the beeps. I don't know how to shut them off. I couldn't find anything in the directions how to shut them off. This isn't a huge deal, but when you're changing your volts from like 9 till 5, I'm only at 6.5. We're at 5. But still, this isn't a huge deal. I ended up actually not even noticing the beeps after, a couple hours of tattooing. But yeah, I wish there was a mode to where the beeps were silent. So those are literally the only two things that I have to complain about these batteries. And they are literally both no big deals. Functionality and quality are the two main things that I look for in tattoo equipment, and these critical batteries get 2 thumbs up in my book. I highly recommend these to anybody that is trying to get into wireless tattooing, because not being tied down with a clip cord is definitely an awesome feeling. So, go check these out. I'll leave the link for you in the video description. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down in the comment section, and I hope that you have a good day.